Welcome back to Good with Mel.
And Mar, good humans, good talks. So
Yeah,
excited
yeah.
to be back. We actually are both not in our normal kitchen environment.
We are not. We are both out of our normal environment. I am at D1, which is my um, full-time coaching jam, I guess you'd call it. And Mara is out in Texas.
Yep, I'm in Fort Worth today. I am sharpening a bunch of Cutco knives. This is the day in the life of like my Cutco rep side. Normally I have like full appointments, but I had a little gap that worked out perfect for us to keep our meeting time. So I was like, well, let's just do it. So
Yeah, yeah.
uh, good Wi-Fi and great time to talk. So
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out so we could get into it. It's funny, like when either of us needs the other to kind of hold each other like consistent. Oh my gosh, that was wild. Okay, so did you know the video like auto zooms and stuff? Did
I'm
you know
trying
that?
Yes, and I'm trying to change it, and I can't figure out the setting to turn this off. I'm literally like,
So
I
when you
thought,
were taking a drink, it
did it
like
like zoom in?
zoomed.
Ghost, you need to sponsor us because I am giving you this like fantastic feature apparently right now. God,
That was hilarious. I was like,
that's so,
how zoomed is it gonna go? That
that's
was super
hilarious.
funny. Oh my gosh. Is that a feature on Zoom or is that a
I don't
like
know if it's my Mac
iPhone
or the
thing?
Zoom because I just
Oh,
turned
okay.
off the auto frame
Hmm.
in my video, and I don't know if maybe I need to turn it back on and it won't do that.
Mine, like
No, it's still
mine,
doing it.
yeah, mine like tracks me
Right.
now, but
I
like,
know it started doing that recently, and I don't like it. Like I don't know. I just stay still so I can do all the moving, but whatever.
yes. Anyway, total side note, squirrel moment. But yeah, Mar, what's going on? You're obviously in Texas. What's been going on this week? What's been
Yeah.
good? What's
So
been good? We could start. I like that.
yes, I like that. Good. What's been good?
What's been good?
What's been good? So, went to my first grid match, which I guess bittersweet because I didn't get to play because of my injury, and then also coach like said also we needed more body weight people and we needed to bench somebody. We actually have too deep of a bench, so but it made it easy with my injury happening, like, and I couldn't even do my jobs like 2 weeks ago, and so all this finagling, and then I was assistant coach role. So what's good is the assistant coach role went really well. We won our first match, which was super fun. Also found out that they're going to feature a couple matches on ESPN from this weekend. We had probably the most exciting match.
Yeah.
Arguably, there was one other match that was like one. All of them were actually really fantastic. They were really great. So for some recaps, maybe go to the Grid and Grind show. You can also watch the matches on YouTube. So if you want to catch up on them, unfortunately, our match had like some sound issues, like awful. The first half is just jarbled that you can't even hear them. And so I hope they can get that fixed because I think ours, for just excitement and performance wise, would make a really great match to go on ESPN. And I know I'm biased, but like actually, like it was like they won a like a race, and
Oh,
we
I saw the points. Like it was like completely back and forth, like across
crushed
the whole match.
the whole time. It was so exciting. It was so fun to watch. Mega did her roles really well, so it was kind of fun to play Mega our first match. I was bummed not to get out there, but I know it was protecting me from myself. I did get treatments from our PT, Kairos. They're like our recovery sponsor, and they did a lot of dry needling and got a lot of crap loosened up. And then I still got my massage I'd scheduled on Monday, so just trying to heal. So I am feeling better. I even have more like energy and feel great. And I really feel like just being with my team really rejuvenated me too. Like I just feel like alive and on fire again just for like life, I feel like. So, um, yeah. But anyways,
That's good.
that's where we're at on that. So that was really, really good. It was such a fun weekend. Um,
Do
and
you go and like are you there all the whole weekend? Like I know the matches are generally on Saturday, right?
yes. Well, so this is the only one this season that we act, well, I guess we only compete on one day in New York, but those two are double header, or there's like 2 days worth of matches.
Hmm.
Um, this one we fly in Thursday or Friday. Friday is when we do our team practice and walk through. We don't like do a full on practice, but we walk through everything and go over transitions and some really important stuff. And then we do another like mini walkthrough a lot of times Saturday morning or media stuff that they need us to do. So that was another reason I still went out there. Was just to make sure I got pictures with my jersey and stuff for sponsors and things that we have. And then you do your first, and then you do compete. And like In New York, it's 2 days of matches, but we don't really actually compete till Sunday night. So that's going to be interesting. And we a lot of times you'll fly out Sunday. You can fly out Sunday morning, afternoon, evening, or Monday morning if you want to hang out and do some extra stuff. But our Airbnbs, if we only compete Saturday, are like Friday, Saturday.
Go home Sunday.
Yeah. So,
Gotcha.
but then Texas, we've got two matches back to back, Saturday and Sunday. And then playoff weekend, I think we'll have the whole weekend too. We got to get there Friday, do walkthroughs, compete until you get bumped out, basically.
Oh, it's like yeah. Like what is that word? What's the word or the phrase? Single elimination?
Yes, yeah, for playoffs,
Yeah.
that's what it's gonna be. Uh,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
so how was like I mean, I know that like transition into a coach role is definitely obviously different for you.
yeah,
So tell me about that.
yeah, it was really fun. I mean, it does feel pretty natural since we coach CrossFit, and like that's what I do for a living is coach. So that was pretty simple. There was a lot more things. I got to go to coaches meeting and get like extra standard stuff. We did have to make some last minute changes. It really did help the team out a lot. And even a couple of the teammates in our group today were like, Marissa holds me together every match anyways. But that was so good, like having her there still. And I did have a few people that were really still happy to see me and like actually make some comments that meant a lot to me that I wasn't really expecting. It was just like it really was good you were here, or I'm glad you made it, even though you're not in the match. Even before we competed, and then after, people were like, that was like necessary. And we still made a coaching error. So I did have like an error in my first bit because I was thrown like 3 or 4 last minute things. And part of my job was to make sure substitutions happened because there's a lot of substitution rules in grid that are pretty complicated. Um, like the wild card rule, they're allowed to be in any two races anywhere in the match, but you have to substitute them in and out. And then once a player is fully benched, they can't go back in. That's why the wild cards are important because they can be in a match or one race at the beginning and one at the end. So if they have like strengths or crazy stuff that need to be on opposite ends of the match, you really need a wild card somebody. Um, and also for like the ringers and things like that. So um, we I had to keep track of it, and then I didn't realize we had to wild card someone for the first race because I was dealing with like a lot of things, and we had like a last minute change up because they changed the whole format of the race and had a very different movement than we had planned for our sprint relay. So we had to move a bunch of stuff around. And then there was some other last minute things of like I had to kind of watch and see if somebody needed our recovery person during the match, and I was the one in charge of like connecting all that and then like keeping sure the spreadsheet, making sure people knew their reps, games, and when to go in and transition and were mentally prepared before each match for what they were doing. Um, so it was
That's a lot.
yeah, I guess so. It was fun. It was a lot. I guess it was, but it was a good time. And then just like cheering on my teammates and being like hype woman and getting people's like mindsets right. Like Charlie, it was her first match, and Grace and some others, and just making sure they were like calm or ready to go. And like Charlie too, she on the sprint relay had to do back hamstrings and do a back tuck and do like three of them. And you have to go like as soon as the other person crosses the finish line. So I was actually her eyes and she was just facing me. So I would say 3, 2, 1 as the person was crossing the finish line. And then she could just step back into the quadrant and start her movement versus watch, turn around and do it because you had to stay in
Yeah,
the quadrant for a bigger movement. And so it's just like little stuff like that, the whole match. It was really fun. I loved it. Um, so I do love coaching, but I will say it's way more stressful being a coach and keeping track of like 16 people versus just yourself. I'm like,
yes,
I like being a competitor and an athlete better, but I already respected Paul and everything he does big time, but I'm like, dear Lord, this is so much. I don't know how he does it by himself without an assistant coach all the time. So
that's wild that I didn't realize that he doesn't normally have an assistant. That's crazy. Well, I mean, how long has he been doing grid?
he has been doing it a while, and last year was his first year by himself. He's always co-owned it before to where they were both coaches or kind of like had
Mhm.
different roles within that. So last year, I think, was his first year on his own.
Gotcha.
And we technically did have an assistant coach, but he would only show up sometimes though on match.
Yeah,
So I don't know how much he like did on the back end, and he might end up still being like a sponsor, partial owner, silent investor type thing. Um, yeah, there's some conversations to have about that in the next few weeks, I think. So yeah, we got some really like exciting stuff cooking. And then yeah, ESPN is gonna host or gonna showcase a couple of the matches, the best ones from this weekend. And I hope that the sound and totally like ruin our chances of that, but I hope that that
Yeah.
gets resolved and it'll work out for whatever happens. But we also do have like Alex Smith and like Amanda Fisher who played in our matches. So there's some bigger names. Like obviously they're not as well known as like NBA players, but
Yeah,
yeah,
in the CrossFit space, people know who they are.
right. And exactly. And if people found out it was going to be on ESPN, I think a lot of people would like tune into that and stuff like that. So it was just so fun and my heart is just like full and I feel rejuvenated and just feel like God really wants me there. It did stink to really sit out. It was humbling, I suppose, on a lot of things, like to not even be able to do my job and then to also get pulled and kind of pulled anyway. But the injury like kind of like nailed the coffin on or like the put the
Mhm.
nail in the coffin, I guess, of that and with another of our guys missing. So there was just like a ton of changes within the last 2 weeks. Um, and but it was the best one to pull me from anyways. Like I had like good jobs and they're fun for me, but there's other stuff that I think like in the next few matches, like one I will actually really crush in ways that other teammates of mine may be like the differential, I'm actually going to make a bigger impact, I suppose. I don't know how to
Yes.
explain that, but like
Yeah.
way more my jam and actually throughout more of the match and um it's actually a really quality problem though that we have too many people on our roster because that's going to really help.
It's a great problem to have.
And especially for like the doubleheader weekends when there's higher volume and to be able to like put more fresh people in and you know, it's exciting stuff. So but I did feel like rejuvenated. Um, and I'm really glad I got to still go and
That's
contribute,
cool.
even in it if it looked a little bit different. Um, but yeah, I definitely like being on the field. But I would have been so mad if I like went in and like messed up too, just because my shoulder,
Yeah.
like it was way more relief to kind of like let myself heal. Um, and then speaking of that, I'm like on a fast right now from training. I've never done that. I felt convicted last week to start it. I've never like put it aside for my faith. Like I have been able, I've like after Monster Games that year that my ex-husband left me that weekend, that was a year I was willing to like put it on the shelf or not compete for a while of just like, hey God, like I don't want this to become an idol or take its place. I have my relationship and other things to work on. I'm willing to give that up. And then God was basically like, nope, I guess the marriage is not working out and you still have jobs here and to pursue this. So it's like, wow, that was not what I expected. Um, and so there's been multiple times I've tried to just like give it up for him, but not in a way of like fasting from it.
Yeah.
And so this has been very interesting. So the word consecrate came up of like actually consecrating my training and turning it into an active worship. And I've always seen it as kind of a version of that, but like intentionally doing that and setting it apart. And that's what I'm doing with this fast.
I
Like,
think there is definitely a pivot
yeah,
that happens when you kind of make that decision and you look at everything through that lens.
yeah,
It definitely changes your, like you said, intention for
yeah.
training.
And so it's more of like a consecration because it is a gift from the Lord and it is something I have a privilege to do. Um, and it has been something like I don't ever really try to do things from ego, but it can sneak in there. Like,
Oh, yeah, that's the whole idea.
yes.
Like,
And so I think it's like it's not about like my attention or things on me or um and I feel like the Lord has really been telling me to stop. Like I have like somewhere deep as a child, like basically felt like I had to earn love. And I was even doing that in my marriage of just like constant performance or like, okay, if I do this, then, and then maybe it's an oldest daughter syndrome. Maybe there's some stuff with millennials in our generation we dealt with on that.
it's your
Um,
Enneagram number, I would imagine.
and there's some of that too, which I am listening to the book and I listened to a lot more of it last night. And I'm even more confused at what my number is right now, but that's just because they've only gone through a couple and I still have like so much to learn. But there might be some of that, but it's like very just like performance based love. And then it's funny because I definitely know like God loves me regardless of my performance, and even my parents do, though that didn't always feel that way for a lot of things. And then, but I think what's so I like know that and I've even felt it, although it was really sucked because it almost reemphasized the wound of like I couldn't be good enough for my husband for him to leave me after like a year and 3 months. Again, lies, whatever, but it's still like thoughts that came up and roots that flushed out. And so then I find that I don't love myself when I'm not performing. And that's the big crux of it. I'm like, I know other people love me regardless of what I'm doing. I don't care, but I don't accept and love myself if I'm not performing to a certain standard or doing certain things and making an impact on the world and adding value. So like it's this stuff that I'm like having to really like sit with and deal with. And then the other things that have become evident and a word that keeps popping up is deliverance. And I'm like, I did not know I needed deliverance from anything. I know I have my salvation and other things, but there is some deliverance of some of this performance-based stuff, some deliverance of just a few other things that have come up. And then another thing that popped up is before this and like now like clearer is like outgrown. And so I'm outgrowing certain things in my life that are a huge part of what formed me, my career, some stuff within my finances. And it's hard because I'm over here trying to beat myself up saying I'm like not good enough for this anymore. I don't have enough energy, or it's just I don't have the dog in me anymore. And it's not that. It's like I've outgrown certain things to need certain other things for this next season. And it's really hard and I don't know how it's going to all navigate. And that's another reason I fasted is I felt like I needed to fast so I could get more kind of direction and clarity and just also worship. And I've been in the Word a lot more this year. I'm reading the Bible recap, like it's the whole Bible in order chronologically. Um, and the good news is it's made me very hungry for the Word and what's going on. And there's just some like very deeper understandings of some contextual things, and I'm learning a lot. But yeah, I was like, oh my goodness, it's been a while since I fasted, so it just like felt time. And like God told me like last week, I like actually heard his voice like in my head, but it was not mine. And it was, you've never set this apart for me and never sat it down for a week, even in all my like injuries and health issues the last 8 months. And it was like, you're becoming self-centered with it. And I need you to just like take a minute. And this week's been extra hard. My teammates are already posting practice, and I want to get back to practice so bad, like, and go in there and just like work on this stuff and prove that I can make it to the next match. And Murph was a hard reason. I really didn't want to give up Murph. And when I like was sitting there praying and like felt convicted by this, he's like, that's all the more reason to set it down. It's like counterintuitive. God asked us to do a lot of counterintuitive things. Like I feel like I don't do Murph for me. I do Murph for the bigger cause and Memorial Day and to honor our soldiers and those who were killed in action. And it's something that I've loved about CrossFit is there's bigger purposes behind what we do. But then literally the next post on Instagram I saw was like talking about how Murph is it's like a big deal to finish at RX. Like it's not like a normal thing and like don't go do it RX if it's going to wreck your body and all these other things. And I'm like, maybe I can, like, I do, and then, like, I thought about it, like, everybody posts on Instagram and makes these posts about Murph. And then, like, and I think that's great. I think it's wonderful to, like, circulate the message. But I was like, what am I going to do? Just, like, post about it again and just, like, put more attention on me? It's like, I need to take the ego out and I take myself out. I thought about even posting how I'm not doing Murph for the first time in, like, 12 years since doing CrossFit. And I was gonna scale it too. I was gonna be really humble and just like go walk the runs or like jog and then just gently do some things. But I was like, no, I need to like give up training for a week and anything intentionally for my progress and just like give this up. But it was hard for me to give up Murph. Like that one was a tricky one for me, but I felt prompted to do so. And it was my first Murph I missed since starting CrossFit in like 2014 or whatever year that was, 2015.
I think maybe a reframe is like away from it being a miss. Like you didn't miss it.
Mm.
Like
No, I
you
gave it up. I mean,
right.
I could have made it. Like
Hmm.
I
You
intentionally
yeah.
submitted
Well,
it.
yeah, I think there's that language around it matters. Like, but I agree with you. Like, it's tough to give up those things, and I'm proud that you didn't even post about it.
Hmm.
Like, I think there's a time and a place for that. And I think that especially with what you're dealing, what you've expressed that you're dealing with, like that kind of fighting the ego monster, like it's impressive that you didn't. That is a step in the right direction. Um, I struggle with that on the opposite end, on like I don't like to post about my stuff. I don't. Um,
Well, it's not like I'm a huge fan of it either. I almost didn't post about any of my divorce stuff and the things I was going through and those challenges.
right, but
It was
it's
like
such a
I
balance. Like,
felt like prompting on my heart to share part of my journey. And I was like, even if
yeah,
it just impacts one or two people in it, I mean, a lot of people gave me feedback or reached out to me, or I was able to pray for them, or they'd gone through maybe not the same thing, but had the same feelings come from it, right? Or the grief or whatever it was they were dealing with. And that's why I have the platform. Um, and I want to use the platform to help others and to share like wisdom and like good things. And but it is like tricky because then it's like you want to be vulnerable and open. And then there's also just this value of like there are things that need to be kept close to the chest and like between you or have like real conversations about it. And then I'm also trying to build the platform too to just have a better reach and inspiration. So it's like tricky. I have like a love-hate with posting. Like I like posting for the potential of impact. And I also don't mind some of it because some of it's my own accountability, right? When I just post my little story videos or whatever, it's like, yeah, I did the thing when I didn't feel like it or whatever. Or just like, yeah, you can see somebody who's done this for 12 years and still struggling with strict handstand push-ups and doing the progressions. Like it's also kind of like an example thing or a way to
yeah,
like help coach. And I want to use it even more as a coaching tool. But the people that I saw some of their journey and the ones that resonate the most with me are the ones who are honest about the process,
sure. I
right? And
agree.
that's what I want to hopefully have an impact on my people. So it's just like, but it is tricky. It's like I don't actually enjoy a lot of it. Um,
Oh, I don't. Definitely not.
yeah, and the more I'm trying to post as like a coach and to really make it a business platform, the more I'm like fried mentally and my creative juice and the joy of it has been like sucked out. So I'm trying to manage that because I am starting to get brand deals and like other things and sponsors and it like matters. Like I need to
Yeah.
post. But it is a part-time job and it's
Yeah.
not the type of job you get paid per post or whatever. Like
Yep.
it's very entrepreneurial, so it can just get very
Mhm.
exhausting and tiring and
Well, and just it takes so much. I feel like it takes a lot of mental bandwidth on the back end. Like you just have to be so intentional about how you go about it in order for it to make sense because you're not just trying to get views, you're trying to
right.
feed the algorithm.
Right.
Right? It's like it's not necessarily about, which is wild, like it's not necessarily about the human on the other side of the screen, even though in our heart, like it is about the person on the other side of the screen. But in order for us to get our content to those humans, we have to feed the algorithm.
Yes, and this is
And
where I
that's,
started hating
it
it. Like,
blows my mind.
yes. And then I get mad because it's like it changes all the time, right? So you and like I put like my heart and soul and make these really great posts or what I feel like is something that would resonate or really help people or whatever, and it gets like nowhere. And then I go
Mhm.
post some trend that somebody else has already done, but I just did my version of it, and then that's what gets 300 likes and 10,000 views. And it's like and so it sucks because it's like I need to do a certain amount of those to continue to stay relevant or to like, but I'm like this is not the stuff I want to be posting. Like it is cool and I like doing cool stuff, but I'm not there to show off stuff. Like in
Mhm.
fact, this is funny. When it came to me getting recruited for Grid, it was because of Instagram. And it was hilarious because my coach was like, "Bro, Dakota said you're this like super strong strength specialist girl, and all I see you doing is muscle ups and stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm posting all the stuff I'm struggling with to like be authentic about the journey and what's going on." And he's like, you need to start posting your strength stuff. Like I had to go scroll down to January 1st, which was like 3 or 4 months prior to this to even find anything that you did. And I was like, oh yeah, that's really cool. She'll be killer. But it's like I don't post and PRs also come so few and far between. And even catching a PR on a camera is like not always happening. Um, And so it's one of those like, oh yeah, I don't post the stuff like I'm proud of, or like I'm like sitting there like, look at me. It's like I'm posting like, hey, this is how you get better. And like, I don't know. And I do post some of those highlights, but that's not like what I'm trying to do all the time, I guess. Like
Yeah.
but it's like backwards, or it's like, yeah, the highlights or the funny or the stupid stuff or something. Like for me, like some stuff I think that's just like trash is what gets like a lot of traction. And then my stuff that's like I put all this like effort into or tons of editing or made it like
Yeah.
tried to make it really good and it gets like nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like it hurts my feelings. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm weak. I I I don't like it. Like it does hurt my feelings. I have to like take a lot of mental breaks. So like I take it if I want the likes. Like my ego wants it. And not even like
Well,
probably
see, there you go. So it's like you have
yeah.
to like feed the monster, and it's like, okay, so like
Yes.
how do I create the separation
Yeah.
between the two? And it's like I think the only way to do that sometimes is, I know that you and I are cut from the same cloth. Like we have the tendency to like jump into that all or nothing thing. But I do think there is, like we were talking about earlier, like, and maybe this was off camera, I can't remember or not, but like there becomes a time in your life where you do have to play into your strengths. And if jumping in to something like that, like if you're struggling with something, or if you feel ego jumping in and you just decide that you have to take a break because that's what the skills that you have in your toolbox, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I do think that there's a lot of noise like on the social medias and even just culturally of like all or nothing's bad for you. I'm not saying it's great for you. I'm just saying that sometimes you have to use the tools in your toolbox. Otherwise, nothing gets done. I think analysis by paralysis by analysis is really, really just a just in our society. It just happens all the time.
Yeah.
And people, I think also like the optimization, like people are always trying to just optimize, optimize, optimize. And I think that there's a place for that, just like there's a place for all or nothing, but we have to be able to like discern,
Yep.
right, what we need in that moment. And truly the only way that that happens is by doing.
Mhm.
And that's, I mean, like definitely one of my spiritual gifts is like the ability to just do, like, and not think
Yep.
a whole lot about it, like just show
Just
up and like,
fire, aim, shoot, which is great. We need that in this world because otherwise we
right,
would never do anything.
right. And that's the thing is like, and I have to like watch myself in that, because like if I'll get in that mind frame and then I'll look up and I'll be in charge of it. And I'm like, uh-oh,
Yep.
like, uh-oh, because I was the only one that was like willing to take action. And that's currently kind of where we're at with Lift Up. By the time this comes out, it'll it'll be, I think it'll be over.
Yeah, it's like the
We
next week.
Yeah, it's in 2 weeks, like, well, less than 2 weeks. So by the time this comes out, it'll be gone. But like we're in a place where like we're obviously at the precipice of it happening, but like things are kind of starting to spin, and it's like, okay, well, what are we doing? Who's doing what? Like we had somebody, one of our core committee members, that she actually was a CASA employee, love her to death. She has changed positions. And so she's no longer with CASA. And so now we're trying to figure all this out, and everybody's doing the best with what they've got. But like, who's going to step up and do
Right.
me?
Yep.
It's like, because that's just who I am.